What's up, everybody? Matt Modi here with Jedi Modi Sports Network, and it's time for our underdogs of the day. Perhaps underdogs of the week would make more sense, but regardless, I'm giving you my favorite upset picks for the NFL Week 6 betting slate. As for last week, I only had one upset pick that I gave out to you guys. That one was unfortunately a loss. I had the Texans winning straight up. It was a brutal loss because they took the lead in the last couple minutes against the Falcons. Unfortunately, they let the Falcons come back and win on a last second field goal. Goes down as an L in the record books. That brings our total results on these underdog picks, unfortunately, now to a loss. We have 5 wins. We have 8 losses. We are down 0.25 units. Really would have liked if the Texans came through, but they did not. That's okay. We'll get back to it. I have 3 underdog upset picks for you guys for week 6. Real quick, if you're not already, make sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel. Helps me out a ton. And let's chat underdogs. So our first upset pick of the slate is going to be the Seahawks money line. This is at plus 136 odds at FanDuel. So the Seahawks are going to be playing at the Bengals. Maybe the Bengals turned it around. Maybe their victory over the Cardinals was what they needed to go on a hot streak, but also maybe not. I'm not necessarily sure that I buy that. They looked pretty good against the Rams in week 3 when they got their first win of the season. Their defense looked great. Joe Burrow still looked a little bit limited, but he was able to get the ball out quickly, mostly to Jamar Chase. They're able to get the win. What happened after that? They laid an absolute stinker the following week against the Titans. One similarity between the Titans and the Seahawks is both of those teams play a very ferocious, aggressive, physical style of defense. And I'm not sure that the Seahawks defense is what the Bengals want to see right now. I'm not sure that the aggressive style of the Seahawks defense is going to be good for a quarterback that's injured. Granted, Joe Burrow said that this is the best he's felt so far, so maybe he's getting over this calf injury. But calf injuries can be tricky, and he already had a relapse on his calf injury, so who's to say that he doesn't have another one? And also, the Seahawks aren't a team you want to play when you have offensive line issues. We all saw what the Seahawks did to the Giants the last time we saw the Seahawks play on Monday Night Football, completely manhandle them. Now they get a week off to play a possibly, maybe, but also maybe not, still injured Joe Burrow in a pretty bad Bengals offensive line. The Bengals offensive line, the talent is there. Jonah Williams moved to right tackle. They got Orlando Brown at left tackle, but the coaching just isn't there. There's something off with the Bengals offensive line. It's been that way for like 3 years now, and it doesn't seem to be getting any better. And even if you look at the Bengals offensive performance in week 5 against the Cardinals and say, hey, look at this performance, they're back. Number one, that Cardinals team has the 30th ranked defense in the entire NFL, the 3rd worst, very much not good. And even if you solely look at that 1 week's worth of offensive performance for the Bengals, they had an overall negative DVOA, and that offensive performance would put them at 18th in the league, right? Wasn't that great of a performance. It was not that impressive. Sure, you look at the point total and you say, hey, they're back. But remember, part of that point total came from a pick 6 from Josh Dobbs. While we're on the subject of DVOA, the Seahawks, again, according to DVOA, have the best defensive line in the NFL. That's not a great recipe for the Bengals. Sure, if you want to say that the reason why their defensive line is rated so highly is because they played the Giants, that's fine. That's still only one game, and they're still a 3-1 team, including a victory over the Lions, the only game the Lions had lost. So that's not obviously the only factor that goes into that. And overall, the Seahawks have the 14th ranked defense. They're generally solid. I'm not going to say they're really good. I'm also not going to say they're really bad. Meanwhile, if you look at the Bengals, this is on the entire season, not just looking at last week. They have the 22nd ranked defense in the NFL and the 24th ranked offense. And overall, according to DVOA, the 24th ranked team in the NFL. This all includes their win yesterday. So I'm not quite ready to buy the Bengals as completely being back. I do like the Seahawks in this one, especially the fact that they're coming off of a bye as our first play. Next up, this is definitely the scariest one. How about the Browns money line against the 49ers plus 204 odds at FanDuel? Now, first things first, this is going to be a half unit play. I'm not putting a full unit on the Browns, but I'm still going to ride with them. And I get it. This one is scary. If you want to completely ignore this one, I won't blame you. The 49ers proven themselves to be the best team in the NFL, coming off of the absolute demolition against the Cowboys. So if you want to skip this one, I would not blame you. This one, strictly a positive expected value play. For those of you who are tuning in, don't know, I'm mostly a positive EV bettor. This is the one where you kind of have to just take some Pepto and just accept the value in the math on this one. The sharp sports books like Circa Vegas, Circa Sports, they have their true line on this at plus 190. So we are getting a really good price getting this in the plus 200s. The logic with this play, you're essentially banking on a letdown game for the 49ers. They're coming off of that massively impressive, incredible performance against the Cowboys. Now they're on the road, traveling to Cleveland, they're playing a game not even against a team within their own conference. So you're hoping that they just start slow and can never really recover. Granted, the 49ers have scored 30 points in basically every game Brock Purdy has started, so I get it. It's scary. The only way that the Browns end up winning is if their top-ranked defense can do anything, basically be the only team so far that's been able to slow down this 49ers offense. If they don't, this is going to look dumb and it's going to be a loss, but it's a half unit play. And for plus 204 odds, the value could be really good if we get this one to hit. So I'm going to trust the math, trust the data. I'm going to ride this one as my second pick. Last up, third underdog pick of the slate. I like the Texans once again. Texans to win straight up at home against the Saints, plus 111 odds. This one is at Sporttrade. So if you're in Colorado or New Jersey, highly recommend downloading Sporttrade. You're pretty much always getting the best odds with Sporttrade. If you do, use promo code MODI as that helps me out. But we can talk about this game. One thing that I do love doing is fading teams that are coming off of a shutout, meaning they just shut out the team that they played. Obviously, it doesn't happen a lot, but generally, teams that have just shut out their opponent, they generally get overvalued the following week. As a side note, I do also like backing teams that were previously just shut out, but there's no value here on the Patriots against the Raiders. So I totally sat that one out, whereas this one is a positive expected value play at plus 111 odds. Either way, I love the Texans in this spot. I mentioned they had a heartbreaking loss against the Falcons last week. And I'll admit, letting Desmond Ridder go down the field on you is not a good look at all. It's actually a very bad look, but that does not scare me off of this game one bit. Yes, the Saints defense is very, very good. I will give them that. They're quite good. They've also played a horrible stretch of offenses through 5 games. Here are the teams that they've played in order: the Titans, the Panthers, the Packers, the Bucks, and now the Patriots. The only team that has an offensive DVOA that is even in the teens is the Bucks at 18th. Now, the Packers before Monday Night Football were 14th. Those stats have not gotten updated yet, so I'm not sure what the Packers are going to end up being, but maybe they are still in the teens. But regardless, if you look at the 2 teams the Saints have lost to, the 2 teams that have an offensive DVOA in the teens, right? Every other team, 22nd, 30th, and 28th. Sure, they looked great against those teams, but the Texans are very much not that team. Yeah, the Texans can't run the ball. That's a concern, but they're 6th in the NFL in passing DVOA. CJ Stroud looks great. Nico Collins looks great. He's making do with weapons at Dalton Schultz at tight end and Nico Collins at receiver and Robert Woods. He's still there. So I do like the Texans quite a bit. And the Saints offense, with Derek Carr or without Derek Carr, has been putrid. They have the 23rd ranked offense in the NFL. And pretty much whatever statistical category you want to look at, advanced metric, whatever you like, Derek Carr is a bottom 10 quarterback. This is looking at DVOA. This is looking at success rate, PFF. Derek Carr has been really bad this year. So has the Texans defense. So yes, there is a little bit of a concern there, but I do like the Texans to bounce back and win this game at home after a brutal loss, cashing our third and final play for these upset picks. I generally put 1 unit on each of them individually, aside from the Browns one that is going to be half of a unit. If you're riding with me, comment and let me know. If you're fading, that's also fine. Comment and let me know. Other than that, remember to like and subscribe, as that helps me out a ton. Appreciate everybody for watching, and have a good one.